Hello. In this video today, we're going to take a look at Seesaw Classroom and how, if you already have a Seesaw Classroom, how you can get it set up so your students at home can continue to use it. There are several options. So first of all, let's take a look at the classroom setup. We're going to go to the gear at the upper right hand corner and click on that and get into our class settings. We're going to scroll down underneath Students and look at the Student Sign In mode. When we click on this, we see that we have three options. Now, most teachers of our younger students probably have the class code shared devices or maybe the class code one-to-one devices. The second option that we're going to be talking about in a different video is using email and Google for students to log in, even for the little ones, through Clever. But like I said, that's in another video. So right now we're just going to explore these two options. However, if you are a person who already has your Seesaw Classroom set up and you're using Google, one thing that you really need to do is to go down here to where it says students can see each other's work and click on this toggle. It may be default to green. Click on this toggle so that it is gray. What this is a new setting that Seesaw has, and if you have the app on your phone, you'll need to update the app for this setting. In order to make it so students cannot see each other work, this is a privacy setting to help protect the privacy of the students' work from, let's say, a sibling who might be helping their brother or sister out, or from parents seeing the work of other students in the classrooms. And we want to definitely do all that we can to protect our student privacy. So please make sure that that toggle switch is switched off so that it's gray no matter which way you are using Seesaw Classroom. So if we're taking a look at our student sign-in mode, and currently I have it set to class code shared devices, I want to walk you through and show you the difference between what it looks like as we would normally do it in school versus our option number one. So right now I have it set to class code shared devices, and as you're probably used to, I'm going to go to students and skip this. You use a QR code. The QR codes never expire, but in this case I'm not going to use a QR code because I'm going to log into a browser, so it's easier for me to use the class code. You notice the class codes expire in an hour. Which is a disadvantage to being able to send these home. So I'm going to go over here to this other screen that I have set up and go ahead and click login. And I'm a student, and I'm going to put the text code down here, and I'm going to click go. Now, you'll notice in this situation, I was automatically logged in to the student account. It gave me no other options as far as other students that I could log in as, and that's a problem. So with this particular class code, if I have my classroom, let me get back to that one. So if I have this class set up as, sorry y'all, if I have my class set up as shared devices, and then I go to log in with a code or with that QR code potentially, and I already have it set up so that you can't see other students' work, then I really don't get a choice of who I get to log in as. So let me show you what it would look like with a one-to-one device. Confirm this change, and by doing so, it should reset that code, and it did. So I'm going to copy this code and go back over here, and I'm going to log out of this student account, and again sign in as student with the text code. Okay, so now you notice that I am getting that menu, but this is a problem. If I'm Tony the Tiger, I can still log in as Ricky Rabbit or Betty the Bear, and that's not a good thing. We don't want our students to be able to log in as another student and turn in work underneath their name. So this is why we need to change our login method entirely, unless you're already using Google to have your students log in. So going back over here, you'll notice that at the banner at the top, you have the option to get home learning codes. So let's take a look at that and see what that looks like. Now, you'll notice in red it says treat these codes like they are passwords and store them securely. When you give these students these login codes, and you can give them the code or you can give them the QR code, these codes are good for 90 days. So after 90 days, if they haven't used it yet, the codes expire. So they have to use it within the 90 days. However, these codes are good for an entire year of them being able to log in once they've used the code. So I'm going to go down to my sample class and show you what if I click print code, what that will look like. What's nice about this is that once it loads, it does give you as the teacher the information that you need. And then as I scroll down here, you'll see that I have a page for each of my students. So this is Betty the Bear. Here is Betty the Bear's password code that's individual to Betty the Bear. And then the QR code. It says, ask your teacher for a new code after June 29th. They should only need to do that if they didn't bother to use the code before then. So like I said, from what I've read, these codes are good for a year once they've been used. The problem is printing this off and getting this home to parents. We can't really do that. So what you could do is you could go ahead and take a screenshot of this page for the parent if you have a way of being able to send the screenshot home to parents, maybe through email or some other type of secure method. Just don't send home the whole PDF because it has the directions for every single child in the class. So we definitely don't want to do that. But I do want to show you what this will look like. So let's say that I want to log in as Ricky Rabbit. So I'm going to copy Ricky Rabbit's code from right here and go back over here. I'm a student. You notice the code looks different. So I'm using Ricky Rabbit's code. Click go. And voila, I am now signed in only as Ricky Rabbit. So these codes are unique to students. Now, one thing that you also notice, I had the option to download the codes. And when you download the codes, it's going to give you the option to download them as a comma separated value. If that is not something you're familiar with, that's a CSV file. But it basically, you can import those into Excel, or you can import those into open it as a Google Sheet in Google, and then give the individual codes. So that's another way that you could distribute the codes. It's a matter of copying the code, pasting it in an email to the parent. To me, it all depends on what works best for you. Clicking on print the code and then taking a screenshot, to me, personally, that's probably the way I would go, but screenshots are easy for me, and they go rather quickly. If you don't know how to create a screenshot, in Windows, it is called the snipping tool. And so if you Google snipping tool for Windows, you should be able to find a quick tutorial on how to do that, or you can go to the EdTech Innovation Challenges and look for the Getting Started Starter Suite badges. And there's information there also on how to take a screenshot. If you're a Mac person, Google screenshots on a Mac, and again, you should be able to find that information. But remember that these codes are individual to students, and that's what would need to be sent home to the parent to help the student get logged in to their Seesaw account. So for using the Google login method, I'm going to cover that in the next video. So if that's something that you want to take a look at, you can. In the meantime, please also look at the other resources that are posted that coincide with this video to help get you converted over to using those home codes so that you can use Seesaw with your students in conjunction with Google Classroom at home.